Okay, hi everyone. Wait, start the brightness. Okay, so I'm going to start the sharing on actually how you want to sell Aldenz. Okay, so we'll save the Q&A for later throughout the end. I'm actually opening up the sales kit over here that Exim provided, right, in Atlas. I will be using, actually, most of the time I use this, I just remove some of the info facts so that clients don't see this lah. Okay, but I actually use this photo as well. This photo is actually what helps me a lot as well with Alden's presentation because it's very detailed about the whole entire township. Okay. Wait, we just mute this. Okay. So Alden's itself right now is slightly harder to sell mainly because of two things. One is because of the view and another is also because of the size of it. Okay. So what I do is when I'm selling Eldens to clients, right, I want them to understand that one thing is that the price, the package that they get is, I try and create this feeling that it is something they don't want to miss and they don't want to actually lose out on. So they have to actually sacrifice the view. Okay. So that's why I actually bring up this particular photo most times. I show them the future development up front and I will also show them the development at the back. So for example, over here right now, because on the scale model, divine scale model is no longer there. They'll just put here highlighted as a future development. So what you want to do is that you want to actually open up this and stand with the client on the scale model where you'll show them where the future development is going to be. So in future, the view will be blocked, but it's actually not that close to each other. Okay. So the upfront views that is blocked in a way is the ones at the back here, which is facing towards Clover and Terra. Another one is at the front, which is facing towards Divine. Okay. Currently and temporary right now, okay, this view is unobstructed. But in the future, there will be development, and we cannot hide about this because it's already stated and shown on the scale model for future development. Okay, so another concern is also that people always have is the moss being too close to Eldens, because most of the clients who knows about Exim being a Z series is like one of their ATAS projects, so they wanted to know why is it so close to the moss. But because it's actually one of their ATAS project, which is a Z series, they can actually not worry about it so much because it is all good soundproofing that they have. I won't say it's completely soundproof lah, but the soundproofing that they provide is actually quite good to minimize any noise, including highway noises and all that. Okay. So now I don't propose the two bedrooms at all, mainly because of the packages that they offer is not so attractive compared to the type B. Okay. That's why if you see most of my sales, I mainly sell the type B onwards. Okay. So I like to sell a lot of the type B and also the type D, which is this one, the butterfly layout. Now I'll tell you why. So first one is when I bring them to this viewing, okay, when I bring them for the viewing, the first is the type D and the type B. Okay, type B is good because it's actually the safest layout there is compared to the other projects out there. Okay, it's the safest and the most common one where all rooms are into one corner. Okay, so you got bedroom 1, bedroom 2, and the master bedroom all fitted into one in. So that the master bedroom has pure privacy. It is not open up in anywhere. Okay. Whereas the type D is more open for that the master bedroom is faced right in front of the living space. But then again, it really depends on how the client wants it. Okay. So I normally ask them, do you prefer that your master bedroom is away from all the other rooms for privacy? So for example, like this, master bedroom is too close to bedroom 1 and 2. Okay. So let me start on this part here. This is the first room that they will normally go to. So I explain it by this being an open kitchen area. Master bedroom has privacy away from bedroom 1 and 2. Okay. If they're coming and they're moving in with like 3 to 4 people onward, this is very suitable for them. Okay. Open kitchen and private master bedroom space. Okay. Then they can also choose, for example, if they want balcony or they prefer one with the bigger living room space. Okay. Now, when I go over to type B, is when I tell them that assuming if you want your master bedroom to have privacy from the dining and living, then I recommend this type B. Okay. For the type C, okay, the type C, the showroom looks nice. Okay. But in terms of premium C, they're paying a little bit more because it's a corner unit and then the living and the dining area is separated. So it's at further. But the kitchen is pretty closed up. So I always tell them that this unit, sometimes the kitchen area might be a little bit too dark. Okay, because there's no natural light coming in from much unless it's from the AC LED space only. Okay. Another thing that I always bring up to the clients is also that the hackable walls that is provided. Okay, so I normally have my iPad with me, and then I explain to them if they want to do the yard space, right? They can actually maintain the yard area over here as where I'm currently drawing, and then they can actually do a boxed up kitchen like this in this area. So this front foyer space will actually be like the place where they put, like, for example, a little pantry area or a display section. So as they walk, they can actually put in their table here. Okay. Now, because the space is limited in terms of it being about 926 square feet, not 1,000 and above, I spend a lot of time drawing in front of the clients to make them be able to visualize. So in the showroom, I open up the chart and I open up the layouts, and I'll start drawing in front of them to explain. If you put a round table, how would it look like? If you put a six-seater table, you put a table all the way to the end, how will it look like? Because again, when it comes to Aldenz, you have to know one thing is that there is too many concerns that they're going to have in terms of the size wise. So I actually have a layout where I remove all these words here, these words and everything, so that I let them see the full entire space while I'm in the showroom itself. And in the showroom, I'll start drawing in front of them, make them visualize. I'll tell them, okay, so you see that this table over here, if you get this size, then you open up your iPad and I say, you can actually put this table like this. Then I'll tell them how you can design it and all that. So when it comes to Eldens, it's more about visualization for them in the future when they actually buy this type of sizes. Okay. Oh. So then when I go over to the type B, same thing, okay? But what now I try and do is I try and tell them that in terms of size-wise, it's the same. It's more on where you prefer the rooms to be at this moment. Okay, so once when I already narrowed down, like, okay, some of them, they like the master bedroom to be away from the dining and living space. Some of them, they like the rooms to actually be separated from the master bedroom. The moment I narrow it down on which one the master prefers, where they prefer the master to be, that's when I start drawing with them, showing them that, okay, the dining, the living room space, where it's going to be, what they actually have in this section where you can actually full have. Because the only thing difference, right, between the actual layout is just a few difference only. I show you first. Like for this type D, the bathroom is actually smaller because of the pillar, right? If you go for the type B, if you go to the showroom, the type B showroom, which is this one, then I'll tell them the only difference is this bedroom 2. It's just a bit more smaller. But the good thing about it is, right, when the pillar area for Eldens is only the bedroom 2 and also the bathroom 1. Because this is just small, I'll tell them the rest of it, right? The dining and living space is actually one to the actual unit. So with this actually being the main things, where you will normally want to actually be focused on, because the bedroom slightly smaller and there you either feeding a single size bed or a queen size bed. So I remove that objection that they normally have. So I spend a lot of times in the showroom explaining to them how they can actually utilize a 926 square feet compared to where suddenly they have the mindset that they only 1,000 square feet and above. A few of my clients actually came for 1,001, 1,002, and even 1,003. Okay. They had the idea that they wanted something big. But I bring them over first to have a look at how a 926 square feet is very, very flexible for them in the future. Okay. Another idea you can also give them is that, for example, this hackable wall over here, rather than breaking it down and combining the whole entire bedroom 1 and 2, they can just break down half the wall, make this room even shaped, make this into like a storeroom or even like a study room area as well. Okay. So the possibilities on what they can do with 926 square feet is definitely a lot. But also you need to know one thing, like if your target audience is memang moving in with 4 or 5 people, and they're all adults, and like say the kids are in their 20s, parents are in their 40s, 50s, naturally the space is going to be tighter because the kitchen is smaller and everything. Okay, then I managed to actually flip this type into, let's say, investment. Okay, so I make it flip into investment case as well, explaining to them the resale value in the future or how they can actually have exit plans with it. So I want you all to understand also, if you're mainly selling Eldens, it doesn't mean it's for everybody by telling them like, this size is doable, it's flexible and all that kind of stuff. If they are coming from 1,008 square feet, 1,005 square feet, and you want them to downsize to 926 square feet, it's very, very hard. So that's why when I get the clients, I always share to them on the WhatsApp, right? Because I filter them a few rounds where I share them first the size, and then I talk to them about the view and the location. So when they come, I already have roughly, I'll say, cleared 80% of the main concerns. If they really die cannot accept the size or the view itself, right? Some of them, they want balcony with a greenery view, or they want like pure unobstructed city view, then I can't do anything from there already. Then I'll try and swing off somewhere else. But upfront, rather than having 5 to 7 appointments and like, let's say 5 of them are actually not interested really with Aldenz, you're just wasting your time. Lah. That's why I filter them upfront to actually get to narrow down that preference and also already roughly fit what they were looking at. So for example, I'll tell them on the on text as well, I just clarify with them like, okay, you see between this type and this bedroom over here, which one is more to your preference? So when they tell me like, oh, I prefer this one, then I say, don't mind me asking like, why do you prefer this over the other one? Then they start explaining themselves and I use that for my presentation. So if I'm not the one doing the closing, if I pass it off to one of my members where they always self-cost Aldenz, I'll tell them the summary up front. I prefer this one because of this reason. And then you endorse it during your presentation so that they agree with you on it. Because I mean, I'll be honest with you lah. Okay, type B and type D showroom is actually quite just average only. It's very dark. It's very tight. There's a lot of like furnitures, a lot of idea at the side there. So to make them visualize is by making them something that they wanted originally and the reason why they prefer to go for this particular unit. Okay. Now, so back again when it comes to here, then I highlight where are the units are actually at. So I will show it to them. I always show this photo to them and I tell them exactly where and what's going to be. So I heard a lot of people also tell people like, oh, here will be commercial over here. Correct. There is pictures of how the commercial, it's going to be what a shopping mall and everything. But in future, there's definitely going to have something built on top lah. But even so, this is actually not the view for Aldenz. A lot of people keep thinking this is the view for Aldenz. It's not. It's this and this. Where if you take, now let's say if I draw it for you here. So I draw it like this. I'm just using this side here, and this side here. These two main things, right? I will use this. Okay, let me change this. Wait, okay. So I will use a red color pen and I will show them this is how the view is like. So again, with the iPad, I draw it with them. I don't really show them much photos and slides and all that. I show them this is how the view is like. Upfront, I get them to be, what's this word called? Acceptance towards the view. So which means if I bring them to the site or they go to the site themselves, they know like, oh, this is where the future development is going to be blocked and all that kind of stuff lah. Okay. Here upfront, I'll tell the clients also same thing lah. I'll draw another line where I'll say it's this side and this view. So view-wise is clashing, but again, it's more about the price that you're getting in this area. Okay. So it's more about the price and the size that they're getting in this particular area that is actually much more beneficial for them in the future, especially if they're doing for investments and all that kind of stuff lah. Okay. Now, I don't spend so much time in terms of talking about the greenery. I know a lot of people like to use Alden's selling point as the greenery as well. So Alden's only benefit towards the greenery is that they can walk over to the greenery, but not so much in terms of seeing the greenery and all that kind of things. Okay. And now when it comes to the floor plan, just make it sound as if it's a very private floor area where they have one wing on the left, another wing on the right. Okay, if you zoom in closer, you can also see there are doors separating the both section. All lifts are in the center. And the best part is, you see these little gaps here? Right, these gaps here, or even if I want to say these gaps over here, nothing is connected to the unit itself. Where normally people don't want units near to the lift, is their concern is that it's going to be noisy, right? Like if you're side by side by the lift, every time it opens, you can hear people come out and talk. But because there's nothing connected to the unit, they still get privacy regardless which unit they go for. So playing with Alden's is making them understand first the privacy that they're getting. So you may not get the best view, you may not get the best of where it's centered its location at. Wait, it just okay. So rather than trying to sell so hard in terms of the view, I sell more on privacy. Okay, that is what you actually want when you're going. This is what you're getting when you go for Aldenz. Okay, then you have the packages like either 15% or you're getting 17%, and then the 25,000 cash. Okay, and then now you got to spin the wheel of 7,999, 8,888, and 9,999. So this is where it actually helps in terms of them getting these kind of deals to lower down their installment. So I don't play so much in terms of cashback. I tell them that all this is to actually throw into your loan. So rather than you paying a higher premium, you're actually paying a lower monthly installment. And with putting all this cash inside the loan, how much of saving interest you're actually saving. Okay, so yeah, if you tell a client got 70, 80,000 cashback, anything, I'll tell you one thing, clients these days, they're very well aware about cashback most of the time, especially let's say if you are a boomy, you get 17% rebate. You get 17% rebate for the bare unit, 7% is cashback. Let's just say it's around figure 60K. That 60K, even though you get back as cash, you're still paying interest for it because it's coming from your loan. It's not from the developer directly, like extra 60,000. So I tell them if they put that into their loan, they're actually saving this amount of interest. They're paying this amount for monthly. And they with the remaining 25 and the 79,000. So I do a proper breakdown that way. So when I do either on Zoom or physical, I do a lot of these calculations to show them how much they're saving upfront. So when a person decides to buy for own stay, they feel also very, that it's very worth it for them to actually move forward. This is mainly because that they're saving up so much upfront. Then you do a comparison of the other projects within the area, and then you tell them, you get this size, you get this price, this location. Let's say you got Forest Hill, you got Atera, you got Amaya, Ara, and all that kind of places lah. I'll tell them 900 square feet in this particular location, and for 670,000 is very worth it. Okay. Again, it's either you go for it for own stay or investment. Now, there's two packages to how you want to brand Aldenz, a partial furnish or a bare unit. I like selling also the partial furnish is mainly because that they get some items included for them. So I call it the hassle-free package for them, where I tell them you get the kitchen cabinets, you get the hoop hop. I said kitchen in a way, when you get the keys, you don't have to do anything. I have a few pictures also of when I go to Exim's projects when it's ready to move in. They have like all the kitchen cabinets, the hoop hop, the fridge, the washing machine, and everything. So I told them, this is not so expensive, but it saves you a lot of time when you get the keys. So when you get the keys, be it your own stay or investment, the kitchen is done up for you. Because most of the time I tell my clients this, when you buy a property, you spend more time designing the kitchen than you do with anywhere else. How much can you design for your living area? You probably put some wainscoting and that's about it. Master bedroom is just where you want to angle the bed, where you want to put the wardrobe and probably the vicinity table. But the kitchen is maybe you wanted a long island, maybe you wanted a full island, a slot-in island, all that kind of things. But I told my clients like, the way how Exim did it for you already in the showroom is the most practical way, and it's also very convenient when you're doing cooking, front and back or a whole entire row of the kitchen. Okay. So okay. Another selling point that I sell Aldenz with is also the pet friendly, right? I mean, it's the official one with proper, like terms from Exim directly, where they're actually calling that Aldenz is a pet friendly condo. So this is actually one of the strong points as well, because I'll tell them that, anybody who buys Aldenz right now, they already know upfront it's a pet friendly condo. Be it whether my clients is a pet owner or not, I tell all of them. So some of them told me like, oh, but I don't have any pets and all that kind of stuff. I told them right now you may not, but in 2029 Q2, you don't know whether you're actually going to be having any pets, be it a cat, a dog, or anything, even birds and all that. At least that you know you're staying in a pet friendly condo. But you don't have to worry so much lah, because even though you don't have pets, when you have pets, generally the management will actually have certain rules. Like they'll tell you right now where the is. So I open this photo up to show them these are the areas where the pets are allowed to go. So you don't have to worry in terms of you swimming in the facilities and somebody is running with their dog and their cat and everything. And also another concern that they normally have is this. Like, how are they going to, bring the pets up and down? Will they suddenly open and see a dog just like standing there or a cat just standing there? So you don't have to worry, because Exim already upfront will show you all the particular rules. Okay. And I call this the pet friendly environment where they actually have dedicated areas for pets. They have proper garbage bins for the pets droppings, and also like the cleaning up like the plastics and all that to help them out with it. Okay. Now, let's see. Yeah. So another thing that I also sell a lot is actually based on location. Central Park Damansara throughout the entire years has a lot of good reviews, bad reviews because it's been in Damansara Perdana. Until today, I was starting selling Cosmos until to Aldenz. It's always Damansara Perdana I don't want. So what I do in terms of follow-ups with them on how I drag them, right, is I tell them how central it is. Wait, sorry is I tell them how central it is. Okay. I focus on the schools and the university first, especially their families. Okay. Shopping malls, I don't touch so much. I mean, I believe wherever you guys are staying right now, right? This is also what I tell my clients, right? I say, be it whether you're Subang, Cheras, or you're from KL, anywhere lah, there's a shopping mall within 10 minutes, 15 minutes close by to you. If it's not a big shopping mall, it's a small shopping mall. So I don't touch shopping malls so much. And I tell them, if you're staying here, you know the shopping malls within this space. Okay, nothing on that. I talk to them a lot on the schools areas because future wise, you will be starting to think like you wish that you got something close by that is nearby to the schools or universities that is close by. But uni, not so much unless they're focused on investment. It's more on schools because uni, high chances they will just get a dorm and stay somewhere or they'll be in a different state and all that kind of things. So for schools, I'll tell the clients, I say, this is the important things where you want to look for in terms of schools. You want everything of it actually very close by to you because a lot of clients make a mistake is that when they buy a property, they like everything, they like the location, but they never think of the future wise in terms of schools. So be it whether they are newlyweds or a family, the school objective when you put these points is actually something that is very beneficial because a lot of them will come and tell you like, oh, actually, I didn't think about it. I didn't think about the schools in this area. So I break down. Now in the sales kit and the marketing kit, they already show you where the schools are from 3 kilometers up to 8 kilometers lah. Okay. Let me see this side here. Because I have a different kit. It's not here, but nah, you can choose one. Okay. Now, if they're looking on terms of investments, then schools is a secondary, but then university and colleges becomes the primary right here. This is how they want because students, I say, when especially if you're targeting in all these unis, you're going to get kids from overseas and they want different kind of lifestyle. They want something walking distance, a place where they can chill their friends. So this is where I talk to them a lot in the universities. So you actually want to emphasize a lot of time actually talking to them about the schools and all that. And another thing is the public transportation really close by is Bandar Utama, TDDI, Mutiara Damansara. Okay, that is within 5 to 6 minutes away only from the Aldenz. Okay, but another thing that I like to focus on is the KPJ Damansara Hospital 2. It's beneficial regardless your own stay investment, young, old, uh college, you're just renting there, whatever, right? I always emphasize on the KPJ Damansara, how it's actually just minutes away, 5 to 6 minutes away, just to the KPJ Damansara. Now, if you're doing investment, you can also consider renting it out to like doctors or workers that is staying within the working within that vicinity. And it's very easy and simple for them. They can just take the E801 bus, Rapid go straight towards that direction there, making it easier for them as well. So selling points on this is definitely first again, schools, uni, and also the hospital. Okay. Now, another thing that I also use, I don't touch much about Empire City because they kind of know and don't know it. I don't have a picture here. Wait, yes, this one. Okay, is the tram service. This tram service is yes, it's proposed, but most of the time when Exim say propose, the chances of it coming out is actually very, very high lah. Okay, but I show them the tram. So I do is I bring them all the way down to where the tram service is at. If they want to experience and sit down on it, so you can, it's free. Bring them to the Empire showroom, let them go and sit down the tram. Say you'll have this somewhat similar tram like this from Central Park Damansara all the way down to the Hexstar World Station. Okay. There's only two places that has it, and that's Gamunda Cove and Putrajaya. The other places don't have it. So that's why I tell them that this is actually one of a very good beneficial thing that is easier for them in the future if they want to go over to shopping. Okay. So this is the road accessibility that I'll also show to them, starting from road A, road B, and all the way down to like road 7. Because when you look through the scale model and you try to explain the flyover, the dash highway and everything, they can only process so much. So I always show it down like this to them, showing them multiple access that they can actually use in the future. Okay. So for Aldenz, they have the dash highway going in, they have the flyover going in. And then another thing is, I tell them that for them to come out, for them to come out is actually much easier and very, very quick for them as well, because they have a direct access once they come out straight towards the inner road. Either they go to Jalan Damansara or they can continue straight towards the PJU 8/8 that will come out towards Damansara Perdana area. Okay, so use this photo a lot to actually emphasize on all the access that they have. LDP flyover, dash highway, Penchala, PJU 8/8, their own inner road. Okay, these are where it's actually beneficial for them. So when they see this type of photo first, you have to also explain to them. What I do is by explaining to them is showing them they are living in a very, very prime area. That's why it's fully developed. You got Empire City, you have the LHDN Tower, you have KPJ Damansara, best selling point. Again, KPJ Damansara, you are minutes away. You are directly going out straight towards Desa Park City, Kepong, Bandar Sri Damansara, or you can take Penchala if you want to go towards KL. And then you keep going straight, you got Puchong, you can go Subang, you can go Ara Damansara, PJ, all within the space. If you want something that is actually not fully developed yet, let's just say, for example, let's say they decide like, okay, Semeni, there's not much buildings in the area, not many high rises and anything. I told them also, you're staying in a very not a fully developed area yet, and you're also very far. But if you want prime areas, you're going to have to actually accept that your view is either going to be blocked now or in the future. So you better just know upfront first what is the view that's going to be blocked. Which one is actually going to be blocked, so that when it's no surprise for you. That's why like most of my clients who actually bought like Vervain back then, when they were building Divine and Aldenz, I never had them complain to me. It's because upfront I told them it's already a future development. So for now, they would just come and tell me, I enjoyed the view for the past like 3-4 years. Now another thing coming up already. So they're not upset. They were aware of it already. Okay, because you can't lie and tell them there's going to be commercial, there's not going to be any development, there's nothing going to be like there's nothing going to be there. You have to tell them upfront so that they know. Because when they go to the site, they can already see the land cleared in that area. So if they stand right behind Aldenz, right, you stand behind here, the site behind Terra and Clover, they can actually see that the view is already facing directly towards Divine as well. Okay. And then, of course, you want to use this photo, but nowadays I don't use this photo so much because it's already pasted in Empire City. Okay, so giving them the whole township breakdown on how things is like. Okay, so I'll use the commercial area in this place to show them that is in terms of it in future is very convenient. So I even have a photo of where Alden's site is at and where the commercial. I draw roughly a line for them to show them that it's about 5-6 minute walking distance commercial in the area. So they ask me like what kind of commercials they're gonna open is yet to be confirmed, but in the sales gallery there's already a whole entire list. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 70 or 80 that is proposed and some that is confirmed. They now even confirm what Anytime Fitness and all that kind of thing. So I tell them whatever Exim actually gets in terms of tenants, it is very beneficial for the residents. So why would this matter for investors? Is because whoever they decide to invest or rent it out to, they know that they will pay a good if they actually decide to rent in this space. Is very convenient for them. Okay. And then the last thing that I use, right, is this one, the Nanyang Street. Now, the picture of how it shows, it looks very nice. So I'll tell them that you have your own mini, Asian street, because if you see the alfresco, it's very European style. You see the traders market is very European style. But now you have, because one thing about European styles, right, they're always set into one color only. Okay. So all of this is actually get clients very interested. So when you have European concepts, they're always one color, one color. Okay, they keep it short and simple, but that's the beauty of how it is. One thing about Asian streets, right, or you call it the Nanyang streets here, it's very colorful. So I tell them, like, you got some vibrant in this particular area that you have easy access to all of it, but it's also a place where you can actually just walk down and grab anything you want. And then there's, greenery streets that you can sit down into. Okay, there's this area here, not even fast cars will be passing by. Nobody will be speeding. All of it is actually done very, very well. It's like a mini replica of how their Chinatown is like. So this is also another one that I spend time because Exim actually has I think about 5, 7 photos in Empire. Right beside going towards the Sarah's 1,001 square feet, they actually did a whole entire row of posters showing all the Nanyang Street. So this is very beneficial again because you want them to also understand they're sacrificing the size and the view, but these are the benefits that they get within the township itself. Yeah. Okay, let me just see if I missed anything else. So I talked to you about accessibility. I shared also about the tram. So for me again, to break down everything, to break down Aldenz, the view, you have to tell them what it is. Okay. And then you want to talk to them about access. You want to share to them the pet friendliness, the trams, the Nanyang Street, and also the convenience of how it's like in the whole entire township. Okay. Spend a lot of time making them visualize through it. And if you guys have an iPad or if you want to do it upfront in your Canva, so what I do is I went to edit a few. I took from the sales kit. I edited in terms of how to show the layout, where it's easier for them to put a table. How can they put let's say the table, where they can put the fridge, the washing machine, a few ID designs. I know a lot of y'all have the ChatGPT. You can actually take the layout, ask them to give them a few ideas on how it looks like. So I got a few of my friends who are ID designers where they can actually they did for me a few designs to show how they can fully utilize the 926 square feet, be it the butterfly layout or when all rooms are into one corner. And I show them these are a few designs that they can actually do for, because the showroom one is just they cannot do it too fancy. They cannot do it too bland and too bare. So they fit everything inside of it. The color may look a bit dull inside the showroom, but then again, I make it show that with their own touch of ideas, there's endless possibilities on how they want to actually design the 926 square feet as well. Okay. So yeah, in terms of Alden's, those are my selling points, and those are what actually works out from it. Another thing is also I always tell the client the booking fee is 1,000 until they reach towards the counter. You can either say 1,500 until they go over to the counter area. Then only the exit tell, okay, the booking is 100. Yeah, so I filter up your own way as well, lah. Okay, because I want something where I get them more committed. So they were prepared to pay 1,000 or 500, it's more keen for me, in that way. Okay. So yeah. So you guys can ask questions, but you guys can type it or you can unmute your mic and type. Okay, so encountered situations where clients were concerned with the traffic going out or going in the area. Yes, most of the time they are. Okay, but just like any other town, access wise are limited. The land in the area is very big. If I have too many road access, I'm going to have too little access to the particular project. So this concern is something that our project that they go for, especially if they're looking at prime areas, is unavoidable. Okay, there's no other way around it. There's no other way around. There's no concerns. Everything over here is very common for you to actually have very detailed, so you can see all the road areas and all. But if I'm actually selling if I'm actually just selling a solo project, for example, let's just say when I was selling back Arcus lah, right? They never talk to me about the whole entire concerns of the traffic going in and out because they were focused on that one solo project. But right behind you, the Decline, D3, and then you have Azuri, and then you have also there's another project near Paradigm Mall. But I told all of them the same thing going in and out, you will always face that same problem. So I make them visualize and understand one more thing. I say, what if I break this whole scale model and I just show you ads? You won't have that concern because this is something unavoidable when you're staying in a prime area. Okay, I stay in Subang as well. Like say for example, there's a Subang project called Alora. Same thing, in and out flow. They have to do like what 2 to 3 U-turns just to go in and out. Okay, because a lot of my clients who are actually buying in Subang, my so I tell them that this area here, you are now bringing up this particular concern is mainly because I show you all the road access. But any projects that you decide to go, be it a township or a solo project, this is something that they always will have. Okay. Is this project near to Desa Park City? Quite close. Quite close. Okay. May I know how do you counter the block view and the dust noise caused by future development? Okay, so again, when it comes to block view, it's not so much of me countering it, it's about more of them accepting it. Okay, that's why I tell them upfront, this is the view that is currently being blocked. But I make them understand again, the deal that they're getting for Aldenz is actually very, very good, that they will have to actually sacrifice the view. Because you have to also make them understand lah, this is something that I think all of y'all also, you're staying in condo, right? How often we actually stand in front and look at our view lah. I mean, it's not directly blocked. This is what I tell them. It's not directly blocked. When you open your window, is just blocked view. I told them that view is blocked, but you still get wind, you still get the air. If you have no intentions to actually sit down at the balcony and look at the morning view and all that kind of things, right? I always tell them this is something that you don't have to be concerned about one. So I ask them also, are you staying in landed? If you're staying in landed, you naturally have no view. You're either facing the front road or you're facing the back alley, right? If you stay in a condo right now, I also ask them lah. I always ask them upfront. I say, how often actually do you sit in the balcony? At night, if you're already done with work, or early in the morning when you want to leave for work. So the timing that you're supposed to be able to sit down in the balcony is the times when you're actually leaving. During your off days, you naturally want to go out. That's why Saturdays is very jam, right? Everybody wants to go out. There's no time for them to sit. That's why if you see, right, I sell a lot of units that is without balcony. I make them understand so like the balcony is not something that they will be using much. So that's that. And the dust noise caused by future developments. So I tell them like this lah. Worst to worst, 4 years only. Okay. But the main thing is for dust wise, I tell them right, it's only 1 or 2 years lah maximum, because that's when they're doing foundation, they clear up the land. So that's when you'll normally have the dust and all that coming out. But when it comes to noise, I say at most you're getting is about 4 years lah. Okay, so they tend to accept the dust and the noise part very, very fast. View wise, it just need a little bit more countering towards it. Okay, but not so much on full countering. Like actually, it's not block view. You can still see something. Try and make jokes and tell them like you can see it. Faster they just accept it as it is, then it's fine. Because many times when I make them accept the view is being blocked, when they bring their parents over, first thing the parents also say, oh, the view here blocked, you cannot see anything. The buyer themselves actually counter it for me. They'll be like, yeah, actually I go out to work all the time. I don't really see the view, and I said, my view blocked, but I got a nice unit in Damansara. Like I can go here, I can walk here, I can take the tram. It's a pet friendly condo. They start doing it. All I have to do is just agree with them only. Okay. Okay, let me see. How do you counter if client say the mall there is kind of quiet? How do you commit this project by a good for investment? Put it this way, I always tell them Empire City, if you're referring to that mall, it's very much just a bonus only. Because if Exim didn't want to complete it, or the deal wasn't to complete it, right, the project still goes on. If they demolish the whole Empire City, it's still the location of where it's at. The surrounding areas are just the surrounding areas is just the bonus, the everything. For example, KPJ, the Empire City, and all that. It's the location of where it's at that is making easy and convenient for them, number one. And number two is because the township itself already has its own commercial that creates a sustainability environment for the residents in that community. Okay, sorry. How do I? Okay. Okay, let me see. With many economies surrounding project, how do you see it impacting the rental market and career for investors? Most of my buyers are actually mainly looking at it for own stay, and I did something different at the very start, right, where I don't play so much on rental yield for investors. I play more on how they appreciate in the future because it's in a township. Okay, you know, there's a lot of other units in the area there, different sizes and all. Okay, so what I do is I sell it in terms of future capital appreciation rather than just rental yield. I always tell my clients in this area, you're going to have a coverage of 70 or 80%, which is still good. You're just topping up the remaining 20 or the 30%. But in future, when the township has already been fully matured, everything has good accessibility in the area. This is where you actually make the full money out from it, covering, the few years that you were paid, topping up for the remaining 20 to 30%. Okay, so I don't open up to show the surroundings area like the rental here can go 3,500 and all that, because the justification of them gonna keep coming back with another concern is that, but this whole other condos in this space is, having rental. Am I going to have a big competitors in this space? So I play it down as once the development has already been matured, you start flipping the particular project, because a township sell itself, whereas a condo by itself, a solo project, you will need somebody to actually always try and tell them the particular reason why this condo is good. But once a township is good, it naturally sells by itself. For example, Desa Park City or Bangsa, you always use the Bangsa and Desa Park City as the selling point. Right now, we launched another project, and then everyone's using the word Desa Park City and all. The name itself sells because of people know how to like the township, not so much in terms of the rental return and all that, because there is a lot of units in this space. Investment wise, if they say so many units, how to sell in the future. So that's the best thing. This is something that a lot of my clients actually ask me. They say there's a lot of what's this word called? They always tell me there's a lot of units in this space. How do I sell in the future, right? So what I do is I actually tell them that, first of all, property in Damansara is always having its demand. Now, I show them in terms of a few stats when people are staying in a township, like, what are the reasons on why people actually choose townships and other projects. This township over here, one thing nice, put away Cosmos and Queens, but let's look at Vervain, Erica, and the rest. All their sizes are actually different. Okay, so like my investor who signed last week also had the same particular concern when they brought this up. Not so much of a concern, they just want to know why. They want me to justify it for them. So many units, how do they sell in the future? So I tell them that this township has different sizes. They have different benefits. They have different views. There are different areas to walking distance to a certain area. Now, let's just say client prefers something where they can walk over to the park. If you are an owner from Clover, Terra, Tessera, and the future development beside Tessera, that's your selling point. If you're someone where you prefer walking distance to commercial areas, smaller units, Aldenz has a higher hand. So I list down from them. The market in the area has so many kind of preference. For me, I'm the type of guy where I don't go and look at my hill and the park. I go and walk to the park, also got no point. Okay, if I want to go do my workouts, I rather just go to my own gym. I don't want to just walk in the park area. So I tell them my preference. You tell them your preference, what you prefer. So you say, right now, I'm the type where I like it simple. I walk over to commercial areas to get daily needs, necessities, or pack some food in the cafes and all. It's much easier. So I choose that. Maybe for you, you like something that actually has greenery in the back. You're the type where you want to see waterfalls and all that, right? Then you can just walk over to the back and you can have it easier. Then you got Clover, Terra, Tessera. So everybody has their own preference. Just like how you like balcony, I don't like balcony. So I make them understand. For investors, you need to make them understand that the market is very big. Because even if they buy a solo project or a township, there's always a project or so many units within the surrounding area. So for them is I buy now, I find the market later on when I'm trying to sell or when I flip in the future. Okay, you mentioned that the property is pet friendly. Could you please confirm whether large dogs are allowed as well? Some clients has raised questions. For now, I always tell them that large dogs are not allowed. If you're talking like German Shepherds, Dobermans, and everything lah, mainly it's actually smaller dogs lah because it's already stated in the MBPSJ rule. But in future, if you request from management and if they allow it, then it's a bonus lah. But I would say large dogs can't because it's not something you can say unless the client doesn't do his search. If you say can, then they go for it. It's fine lah. But if they really dig up and search properly, as for now, memang cannot. Okay. So I'll tell them like then again, most of the time condos people who actually stay, they're always looking they're always staying with smaller pets lah, not so big, just like medium to smaller size only. Because this one is stated in MBPSJ lah, okay? Management, when they get the key, is really up to them. So I also asked my client, I say, why do you want such a big dog in a condo lah? I say, because their space is also very limited. They cannot walk in corridor. They cannot walk in the facilities areas, like the main facilities. There's a small dedicated spot only for them lah. Okay. Okay. Any environmental concerns so far faced from client, such as LK? You ask any environmental concerns faced from clients. Do you have any examples? Then I can help you on how you can counter this. Landslide concerns? No. I mean, clients asked last time lah, will it ever cause any landslides? I just tell them no, and they go with it because it's a granite stone hill, what? So there's no landslide unless it's muddy hill. The back of Damansara Perdana area, that area there had landslide, but that's all more muddy. So when it comes to all this, right, it's best for you guys to actually roughly study the type of hill that we have in the area and what causes landslides, what causes like rocks to fall and all that. And plus, we also have 4-tier security, like protection from the hill to the actual condo itself. So landslide wise is not a concern. When I bring them last time to Forest Hill, they will ask me more because it's like a big lake over there. There's so much of greenery. It looks muddy and all. But when I go towards to Aldenz, you can actually see the whole entire hill is all stones. So landslide wise, I don't have that concern. But if they ask me, I'll just tell them it's all stones on it. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have? Maintenance fee and cashback is in the sales kit lah. Okay. Or in the summary, they will also show. The commission is also stated in the link area. Okay. So understand the park is not pet friendly. How will you counter the owners, pets, and everything? So the thing is, the park is not being pet friendly. But I'll look at it this way lah. Like most landed areas also, they always stated that the park area is not a pet friendly area. But I told them lah, if the dogs and everything all well behaved, or your cats or any kind of thing, if they're well behaved walking within the area, nobody really tend to make any noise lah. Okay, because majority of them are pet owners. So naturally you want to walk with them at the park area. Now nobody will complain if you didn't put your pet on the table or on the chair and everything lah. I mean, I use Empire City as the benchmark. Yes, Empire City is a pet friendly area, right? But certain areas where it's not pet friendly, they still let the security guards actually still never disturb or catch out them lah because it's still very well behaved. And just so you know, Empire City, not the whole entire part of the mall is pet friendly. Certain areas is not. So, but the people still are very respectful in the area. They still try and juggle to make sure that everybody's comfortable. Nobody really says anything lah. So that's the more about how the ethics of how people are controlling and bringing their pets in the specific areas. Then it's fine because everybody knows their pets wants to go to the park and the greenery area. Okay, but Exi may say it's not pet friendly now, but in the future, if majority of all of them are pet owners, nobody is going to actually say anything lah. Which again, majority of the owners over here are pet owners as well. Our commission is stated inside Atlas. Uh, from your experience, what type of unit has received the most interest from buyers so far? Uh, okay, units received the most interest from buyers. Because I don't really sell a specific unit. I
Tapi
sell
ada
based on what.
property kat Amerika yang cantik. Ya.
So I sell based on what they tend to prefer. That's why I said in the very start, right? I'm answering to you, yeah, Susanna. But that's why at the start I said I always show them the layouts, the brochure, and I ask them questions also what they prefer. So if let's say you prefer a butterfly layout, I won't try and sell you the type B. I'll ask you why do you actually prefer? You like open kitchen concepts, you like this. Some people really, one nice thing about Aldenz, right? Same size, different positions of the rooms. Now I have all three. Because last time when I sell just just let's say the unit all in one corner, you tell me I like the master bedroom separated. If I have only the butterfly unit, you tell me I prefer all units into one corner. So this is where I make them decide which one they want. So if you ask me based on my experience, there is no like a specific unit people look and be like, oh my God, I love this project. I love this layout. Okay. It's mainly what they prefer that they want. That's why on text, I always send them the layouts. I ask them which one on this is your preference. They tell me this. I say, okay, just want to know why. Let them explain. And when they come to the showroom, right, you already know that they like the type D. You already know they like the type D or the type C, for example. Yeah. Let's see. This project is leasehold or freehold. This one is freehold, no, like this is leasehold. 99 years, but of course, receiving the keys after that will be about 94 years, 95 years, about there. So yeah, I mean, all this infos, y'all have to y'all check everything inside the Atlas summary lah. Okay. Yes. Any other things that you guys would like to ask me about Alden's? Okay. Oh, we got one more question. Client usually say this is high density. When they first hear the projects is at CPD and lose interest, how do you quickly counter them over phone call or WhatsApp? Oh, so if this is the case, right, I'll normally try and phone call them. Yeah, I'll just call them up and I explain rather on WhatsApp. Because WhatsApp is sound very spammy, you spend them so much of thing. So I do is I try and call them. They lose interest, I call them one time straight. Cannot, I try again one time in the evening. If not, then the following day. Or either one of these three times, they for sure will pick up one. Then I tell them like, okay, you know why you had these concerns over Central Park Damansara? Okay, you lost interest. I want to talk with you why. But on WhatsApp, you spam them. They're not going to read one. When they lose interest, they're just not. But on the phone, there's a chance that they will always tell you like, oh, they feel bad lah to just hang up on you and stuff. So just sit down and explain to them after that. Mm. Okay, so we managed to do all of this within an hour. So if you guys have any other questions, you can list them now. If not, we can end it here. Okay, thank you everybody for attending. Hopefully this helps. Okay, let's sell Alden's fast so we can get the new launches in Central Park Damansara. Okay, thank you everybody.